I will be turning myself in to the police. I will tell them.
No, you're going to jail right now. Where do you think you're going, man? You think I'm just gonna let you walk away and drive away? You killed my goddamn sister. Get my phone. It has all this recorded. Call the cops.
This secret recording was made by Lea Porter, who was desperately searching for his missing sister, Lea Porter. Lea had been missing for some time, and the last confirmed sighting of her came from a CCTV camera. But she wasn't alone. Standing right beside her was her trusted friend and the man confronted in that recording, Christopher Waide.
So is there any reason why we would find Lea's blood in your apartment?
When we were starting to get a little more physical, we accidentally bumped into each other and had a nosebleed, but other than that, no.
For a so-called nosebleed, Waide had already thrown out his sheets and pillowcases, hoping to cover his tracks. But it was not going to be enough. Detectives were about to uncover a handful of clues Lea left behind. Clues that would reveal not only the truth behind the murder, but also a trail of bizarre crimes Waide had been hiding for years.
Is she lying in the dump somewhere?
Oh, God, no.
The story begins on June 3, 2014, when 19-year-old Lea Porter vanished after leaving her home in Greeley, Colorado, to travel to Westminster. Alarm bells rang quickly as she failed to return or answer calls, and it didn't take long before a missing report was made officially. However, a breakthrough came when CCTV footage revealed the crucial clue investigators had been waiting for. These are Lea's final moments captured on camera, and right beside her was none other than her friend Christopher Waide, making him a prime suspect in the case. The officers sat him down for questioning, but the conversation was about to take a turn they hadn't planned for.
So the officers came and talked to you on June 5th.
Yes.
And that was the first time that the cops actually had contact you.
5th, that was what, Thursday?
Was that what the 5th was? Is that what you recall?
I think so, yeah. It's the.
I'm sorry to interrupt again.
What?
Oh, yeah.
What's the? No, it's okay. What's the code for it?
It's.
So there's the phone back. That way we can get into settings and look up the IME and all that stuff. Just serial number. Okay. Let me get serial number and I'll be right back.
All right.
With Waide's consent, detectives confiscated his LG phone and iPad. While these devices will later reveal crucial information, for now the detectives focused on verifying his story and spotting any inconsistencies.
So again, when you talked to our officers on the 5th, which was, you think, last Thursday, the officers told you certain things. What did the cops tell you?
Well, they were just, they got my statement. They were asking me, what happened, what was happening.
What was the reason they were there?
Well, I got a call Thursday evening right after class, and this was the first thing I'd heard. The call was the first thing I'd heard anything about Lea missing. She, as my report states, she left early Wednesday morning, got into a truck. I didn't really get a look at the driver or anything like that, but afterwards they took off, and I thought that was normal. Then Wednesday evening, I got a call from her mom, who was pretty much flipping out, I guess would be the right word. She was extremely worried. I told her that I'm Lea's accountability partner, and that I was trying to be there for her while she was going through her getting cleaned up.
It all began on May 2014, when Lea posted a troubling message on Facebook, opening up about her depression and asking for someone willing to listen with an open mind and heart. Chris Waide reached out, and before long, Lea began confiding in him about her struggles. Lea told Waide she was determined to get sober and was on the brink of homelessness, as her boyfriend Jesse planned to move away to get clean himself. Waide claims he offered her emotional support through her heroin addiction and even a place to stay after she and Jesse broke up. But one fact remains unchanged. Waide was the last person known to have seen Lea alive.
male, I think his name was Jesse. He said he was her boyfriend, or ex-boyfriend. His side of the story was that he broke up with her because of the drugs.
So Jesse actually called you?
Yes.
What was his attitude like when you spoke to him?
He seemed very worried, but
How did he treat you?
he was, I think he was skeptical because he thought I had done something, but
Why do you say that?
just in his mannerisms, it seemed like he was under the impression that I was since I was the last person to see her, that I therefore must be the person that did something to her.
Did he actually confront you with that?
No, he didn't, but based off of his tone of voice and how he worded his questions, that seemed to me to be what he was thinking.
And this was Maxx.
This was Jesse.
This was Jesse. Did
Yes.
you ever have any confrontational conversations with Maxx?
Not really confrontational, but when I first told him about the tarot reading, it took some heavy prodding on him to get me to open up about that.
Did he bring that up or did you?
I told him that I did a tarot reading for her, but I didn't learn anything of where she might be from it, so I didn't think it was important.
You did a tarot reading while she was with you?
Yes.
Or before she left? Or after she left?
While she was with me,
Okay.
I did a tarot reading with her.
On June 3rd, Waide performed a tarot reading for Lea after confronting her about drug paraphernalia he'd found in her bag. The death card appeared, which, ironically, Waide claimed it didn't represent literal death, but a major change or transition. Paired with the judgment card, he told Lea it was a sign to take a hard look at her life, cut out negative influences, and start fresh. But what was presented as a fresh beginning would soon end in devastation.
Do you feel like there's occultish things going on here?
Honestly, no, not really.
Where does the power come from then?
It's hard to explain, but it's personal energy, which I know that sounds kind of occult, but it's really not all that foreign. I mean, even the Christian Bible talks about using your energies for good instead of evil.
So, is there ever any satanic worship that goes along with this in the way that you do it?
No,
Have you ever been involved in any satanic worship or anything like that?
no. I've
Any
looked at-
non-traditional church type stuff in
No.
your background?
I've been to a lot of different churches. One of the things that I kind of like about tarot is that it doesn't ask me to focus on just one religion or anything like that, because the way that I was taught and the way that I believe is that the more you know about religion and everything else, the more experience you'll get, and therefore the more wisdom, which means you'll be that much better when someone comes to ask you for advice.
So why are you doing the tarot cards?
Personally, it's just because I can't explain why they're so accurate. I've done almost 100 readings on myself, and every one of them has been mostly, if not entirely, accurate to the situations that I've asked about or the situations that come up after the reading. And that's been the experience with, I should say, my clients as well.
So I understand that Lea actually came and spent some time with you.
Yes.
And you've kind of repeated that story ad nauseum, so I'm not going to go through
Yeah.
a lot of the details as to that because I've read the reports. And
Yeah.
you went through it pretty much in detail with Detective Lopez this morning about how, she'd started messaging you back and forth on Facebook in the last couple of weeks. And stop me if I'm wrong and correct me if I'm wrong, but let me just summarize this a little bit. She had been messaging you, telling you that her relationship was going bad, asked you about maybe having a place to stay. You agreed to let her do that.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Why would she ask you for a place to stay?
She didn't ask me. I offered it to her.
Okay.
And as far as it wasn't that it was going bad, it was that she had already broken up with her boyfriend. I asked her if she needed a place to stay or if she needed money or anything like that. She never asked me for money, but she did initially take me up on having a place to crash for a while until she got back on her feet. And then afterwards, she contacted me saying that she had found other arrangements and that I...
Well, I take it that since you are considering yourself her accountability partner, that she also shared with you her drug problems.
Yes.
Simply put, Lea was struggling with heroin addiction, and Waide presents himself as the one who tried to help her on the path to sobriety. He casts himself as the hero of the story, and continues to do so, almost as if he's expecting praise for being the world's best friend.
That was the first time I had seen her in, I don't know, maybe a year and a half, because we had bumped into each other in Canyon City. I'd stopped off at Walmart to grab some snacks on my way back home to my apartment.
So after she started getting back together with you here recently, was there discussion about what the relationship would consist of? I know she was asking for a place to maybe stay.
And she made it very clear to me from her exact words, I think, were that she had just gotten out of a bad relationship and she wasn't looking for a relationship or anything like that. And I told her straight up, that's fine by me. You'll be the one making the advances, not me.
So tell me, Chris, why would you be so generous and offer to let your place be used by a young drug user?
I guess the best answer to that would be is because she's a friend. And I'm extremely loyal to my friends. If any of them, even the ones I haven't spoken to in years, were to ask me for it, I'd give them the shirt off my back. That's just the kind of guy I am. I know that's kind of an outdated viewpoint for life, but that's the way I was raised, and that's the way I deem that's the right way to live.
After working hard to paint himself as a good person, Waide is now about to shift into the role of a psychologist. But setting that aside, detectives are finally going to piece together what happened after Lea came to visit him.
I treated her out to lunch. I was being as courteous as possible to her, asking her, you hungry? You want something to eat, some snacks, something to drink when we got back? And she seemed to be somewhat receptive to that, but throughout the whole time, the smiles never went to her eyes.
What do you mean?
Well, normal smiling will cause the eyes to start to crinkle a little bit, to squint. But when she was smiling, it was just with her mouth. There wasn't any eye movement.
So what does that tell you?
That tells me that she was telling the truth when she was depressed. But now that I think about it, with her coming down, it just might have been that she didn't like lying to me.
So when you guys were together then, that afternoon after you've eaten at the restaurant, you're back at your place playing video games.
Yes.
How long did that go on for, you think?
Well, we don't have any clocks in the apartment, but I think it went on for maybe 2 hours or so.
A couple hours.
Yeah.
Were you playing with anybody else online, or was it just the two of you?
No, it was just the two of us.
During that time, then, I'm assuming you guys had enough time to talk about things. Did she get phone calls? Did she get any text messages or anything on her computer that she checked out?
She didn't bring her computer in, at least not that I'm aware of. But she got like a couple of notifications on her phone, and
I'm sorry, what does that mean to you, notifications on your phone?
I didn't see what it was, so as far as I know, it could have been a text, a tweet, a Facebook message or update, or like a Snapchat notification. That's what I mean by a notification.
Could have been somebody had left her a voicemail message? Or attempted to maybe call her and she didn't answer?
No, I didn't hear her phone go off.
What did you hear?
I just heard the single vibrate, which usually...
So she has it on mute.
Well, that could be, but if she had it on mute, then why was it vibrating for notifications?
That's what I mean, though.
Yeah.
But if you put your phone on vibrate and you get a call, your phone's going to vibrate.
Yeah.
You get a text, it's going to vibrate.
Yeah, but it'll vibrate off and on if it's on a phone call. It'll just vibrate once if it's on a notification.
And that's what you heard?
Yes.
Okay. Were you guys drinking at all or anything?
No alcohol.
Okay.
Do you drink?
Once in a blue moon.
You have alcohol in the house?
I've got a bottle of vodka that one of my roommate's friends brought with her.
Okay. So you don't drink a whole lot?
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about, you told me earlier you have been on some PTSD medication.
Yeah.
But you're not anymore.
No.
How long have you been off of that?
Like 2011.
So it's been 3 years, you think, since you've
Give or take, yeah.
Waide's PTSD stems from his time in the military, which later led to a medical discharge for psychiatric reasons. Along with recurring nightmares, there were reports that he may have been experiencing hallucinations, though police records did not specify their nature.
So you guys are at your place playing video games,
Yeah.
talking. Does she bring up the depression issue anymore?
No, she doesn't, but I still keep an eye on her.
Did she talk about ever wanting to be self-destructive at all? Like, tired of living, maybe I'll go out and kill myself, that type of thing?
I kind of got that, not really that vibe, but I kind of got that I kind of got a vibe from her that she had been, that she had in the past been, but she didn't have any scars or anything on her that were recent, so.
And maybe I'm not reading this right, but if she's depressed and this is the way she's feeling, why would she want to have sex with you?
Well, I'm not 100% positive about this, and I didn't really ask her why she wanted to do it. I just asked her if she was sure she wanted to, because I'm just making sure that I wasn't taking advantage of her or anything like that. Told her that she had no obligation to me for anything like that. But I think that she was just trying to, I don't know, find some way to cheer herself back up.
How did all that start, the whole intercourse thing?
Well, we were talking. She had just come back from the bathroom. We were just getting ready to get back into the video game. Then she leaned in and kissed me, and I kissed back, but I didn't. I tried to, I guess, limit myself would be the word as to the intensity, I guess. So I was letting her go as far as she wanted. Then when it led to the bedroom, we kind of flip-flopped between who had the wheel, so to speak.
Well, before you actually went into the bedroom, was there some discussion about having sex?
Well, when she started taking off her sweater, I broke it off and I asked, "Are you sure about this? Is this, I'm not asking you to do this. Made it very clear that I was not wanting to impose that on her or any sort of implication towards her."
From the very beginning, Waide speaks in the same manner, keeping his fingers close to his mouth and chin. It can signal anything from deep thought to nervousness or uncertainty, or even concealment. But as the interrogation unfolds, it is about to become clear that this isn't just a habit. Waide has been hiding a big secret all along.
I'm sorry, I'm just really kind of stressing out about her being missing. I guess what they say really is true. Not knowing is really sometimes worse than knowing.
Have you, since she's been missing, since last Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, whatever day it was that she went missing.
Yes.
Have you ever traveled with her anywhere after that?
No.
Once she got in that truck and left your parking lot, you have not
That was
seen
the
her
last
since.
I have seen of her.
Where did you go with her?
The only place I went with her besides within my apartment was to Boston Market, and I showed the officers when they arrived the receipt for the Boston Market.
You didn't go anywhere else with her?
Nowhere else.
Have you traveled yourself towards the BIA, out towards the airport at all in the last couple of days?
No.
So if we traced your phone, what would it tell us?
And it would tell you pretty much my route home from my parents' house, which was taking I-50 to 115 to I-25 to Highway 36 West to Federal, and then up to my apartment at 92nd.
Where would your phone show that you've gone since Lee left?
Since Lee left, honestly, I've been staying in my apartment or going to class.
However, once the detectives check his phone, they are about to uncover far more than they expect. But now, as they prepare to ask one crucial question, Waide is about to show just how cunning he can be.
So is there any reason why we would find Lee's blood in your apartment?
Well, when we were starting to get a little more physical, we accidentally bumped into each other and had a nosebleed. And she had a nosebleed, but other than that, no.
Well, what do you mean other than that? If she had a nosebleed, there's
Yeah.
blood dripping, right?
Yeah, it was, and we cleaned it up, and it wasn't really anything, I didn't really think much of it at the time, so after she got up, I, cleaned up the little bit of a mess. I mean, it wasn't a major gusher, it was just a couple of drops.
Where at?
So I'm on my pillow.
I'm a little concerned that your story about your sheets.
Yeah.
So where are your sheets in your pillow?
My pillows are currently on my bed. As far as the sheets, I have no clue. I'm, for the most part, chucking stuff in the laundry pile isn't something you really remember all that much. So it was routine, and it was covering the duffel bag, so when she grabbed the duffel bag, she might have thought that was just hanging out of it, and she stuffed it in there.
You didn't get rid of the sheets?
No.
Intentionally get rid of the sheets because maybe it had her blood on them?
No, sir.
If you did, no big deal, tell us that. If you did it,
Yeah.
and because you're freaked out because there's blood on there, she's missing, you're thinking, oh, people are going to think the worst, I better get rid of this. I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that, okay? But for you to tell me, I don't know what happened to him, that I don't understand. So if that's
Because I
what
really
happened,
do not understand. And if I had gotten rid of the sheets, wouldn't I have gotten rid of the pillow too? Why would I keep the pillow but not the sheets?
I don't know.
Well, does the pillow have a pillowcase on it?
No.
Did it?
No.
It seems inconsistent to us based on the condition of your apartment that you would be all of a sudden in the middle of an experience taking your sheets and taking them off the bed.
It was afterwards, as I told them before. Yeah, it was
Even afterwards.
Yeah,
I mean,
she went up and used the restroom.
it seems kind of bizarre that all of a sudden I got to take the sheets off of my bed.
Well,
You understand? I mean,
Yeah, I
let's
understand
face it,
where you're
your apartment's not exactly the tidiest.
I'd
Okay?
be the first to admit that.
So, why all of a sudden after you're done having sex with her and she's been sleeping on this bed
Yeah.
for hours, would you decide, oh, now is the time that I need to pull these sheets? It just doesn't make
Yeah.
sense, man.
And honestly, when you put it that way, it doesn't really make much sense to me either.
Yeah.
But it seemed like the thing to do at the time because I did laundry the next day, so I didn't want to forget about it.
It's a clever excuse, but only if the fact is ignored that he's talking to seasoned detectives, not kids. Waide may be sweating buckets, but he's clearly not done explaining himself.
The worst thing you could do is lie to us. Absolutely the worst thing you could do is lie to us. Okay?
Mm-hmm. I understand.
So, think about it again. What's the deal with the sheets?
Alright, yeah, I did get rid of them.
Okay.
It was after after Lee's mom called me. She was getting really, really freaked out, and that was starting to get me into something of a panic, because I'm sort of empathetic, I guess you could say. It's very easy for me to pick up on the emotions of others, especially when they feel very strongly about something. So,
But your mom was being accusatory towards you, wasn't she?
not really. She was just, it seemed to me that she was just really, really worried about Lee.
Okay. And what was on the sheets that made you get rid of it?
It was just our hair, bodily fluids.
Was there semen on there?
Yes.
Okay, so when you ejaculated or she orgasmed, was there fluids on the sheets?
Yes.
Okay. Was there blood on the sheets?
Maybe a couple of drops from where it rolled off of the pillow,
Okay.
but other than that, no.
Okay, and what did you do with those sheets?
I just took them, I put them in a garbage bag, and I chucked them in the dumpster.
In most cases, suspects don't have time to carefully craft an answer, saying whatever comes to mind. Detectives then offer a more convenient version of events, watching to see if the suspect changes their original story. It's known as the alternative question technique, a way to test consistency and offer an out. And Waide has just fallen for it. What comes next only gets more interesting.
Do you know what else was with those sheets?
Honestly, I can't think of anything else.
Would you be surprised to know that that her cell phone went out with those sheets?
What? Her cell phone? Huh?
Her cell phone ended up at the same place the sheets did at the dump.
I do not know. Honestly, I saw her leave with her cell phone.
How do you know she left with the cell phone?
She picked it up. It was sitting by her purse.
It was sitting by her purse?
Yes.
Okay. So from the time she gets this notification, as you refer to it, and the time that she walked out the door, how much time?
About maybe 1-2 minutes tops.
So quick.
Yeah, it was fairly quick, and I asked her if everything was okay. She said yes. I didn't really believe her, so I followed her out, and then I saw the truck.
Okay, so is it possible that her cell phone was still there and you went ahead and got rid of it with the sheets because you're thinking somebody's going to track this phone, let me just get rid of it with the sheets?
It's possible, but I didn't.
It'd be pretty hard to miss. I mean,
Yeah,
you gotta
I know
this.
that.
So if it was in there, just tell us, hey, I got to get rid of this phone with the sheets because you're freaking out. And I understand you're freaking out.
Yeah.
And now's the time, Chris, that you really need to be honest with us, because scientifically and through the pinging of the phone, we can tell where it was taken to.
Okay.
So was there a phone with the sheets? And what else was
This is not the time to try
Yeah.
to cover your tracks. This is the time for you to be honest with us.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the words to say, because I'm to try and find the right words, because I know that I have been untruthful, but and I'll straight up admit it, it bugs me to hell that I have been. But yes, her phone was with the sheets.
Okay. What else was with that? Phone, sheets, what else?
There was nothing else.
By now, the detectives have understood Waide's patterns. Every answer that comes out after the heavy breath is nothing but a lie. From just a couple of drops of blood to dumping the whole sheet and Lee's phone in the dumpster, Waide has made all the stops. However, at this moment, the detectives do not exactly have hard evidence against him, but they do have custody of his phone and iPad.
I'll see how much longer that's going to be.
Alright.
Do you need anything else from us?
Honestly, no, but I will say again that
Yeah, you can't make any more statement to us because you've already.
Alright, so fine. There's nothing else.
Because you felt like she reacted to the tarot card reading that you did to her.
Okay.
Or the fact, are these the cards that you actually use?
Yes, they are.
Okay, I'm gonna take these as evidence right now.
Alright.
Okay. And we will retain possession of these until this case is resolved.
Okay.
Okay? I'll tell you what we're gonna do is we're gonna take your phone and your iPad, what is it, a notebook or whatever?
It's an iPad, an Apple iPad.
We're gonna take those as evidence right now. We'll give you a receipt for them,
Alright.
along with the cards.
Would it be okay if I made a phone call to my parents just to let them know that I won't have my phone?
You may.
Okay.
Absolutely, we'll let you make a call.
Yeah.
The interrogation concluded, and clearly Waide had a terrible time out of it. Now, as the investigation continued, the officers found things that were disturbing to the core. GPS location data proved that Lee's phone had been taken to a dump. Facebook DMs revealed that Waide had expressed a desire for a relationship with Lee, contradicting his claims of a purely platonic friendship. Online contracts showed Waide had multiple women in contractual slave relationships. A murder contract was found where a woman agreed to let him kill her, which he believed would be legal with a signed document. To add on to the already disturbing content, browser history proved Waide visited several websites hosting explicit photos of children. Waide was immediately brought back for a second round of interrogation.
Honestly, I do not know. She left and got into the truck.
Nobody knew where she was at.
I know that.
We've got her text messages.
Yes.
We've got her phone records.
And
We know everybody that she talked to that day.
We have phone records, we have cell
I
tower.
thought that it was prearranged. Okay. I thought that she had prearranged to have someone pick her up and then
Chris, this is a place where you know
Yeah,
tell us
I
what
know.
happened to Lee. This is your one and probably last opportunity to do this voluntarily. What do you think?
it sounds to me like yes. And I maintain my innocence, but I would like a lawyer.
Well, by doing that, what you've now done is that you've caused us to have to stop our interview with you.
Yes.
Unfortunately for the detectives, once a lawyer got involved, the interrogation was cut short. But Lee's brother Maxx wasn't having it. He and his friends decided to approach Waide on their own, and what Waide revealed to them was something none of them were prepared to hear.
I have one more favor to ask of you.
Okay.
Not as a suspect and family sitting here, but as friends and acquaintances and a group of people that used to know each other and all
Yeah.
are worried about this girl that's missing.
Yeah.
Instead of me and Maxx, maybe badgering you with questions, would you just tell all of us as friends, like once and for good, like just what happened that day while she was there when she got to your house? And
It's hard to explain the things that go on in my head sometimes to someone else, but
Chris, your stories, they didn't add up at all. Not one. You told different things to other people. If you had something not to hide, you would have told the truth the whole time.
why did you keep things back the first time you told this story?
From the very start, Waide was pressed about Lee's whereabouts, yet he never gave a straight answer. Now, Max's patience is wearing thin, but all he can do is hold it together and hope he can get the truth that even the officers couldn't pull from Waide.
I can tell you.
We can tell you
I can
know.
tell you now.
What the?
look, okay.
You need to tell us right now, dude. I need my sister back, dude. I'm gonna kill myself without my sister. You need to, Chris.
Yeah, I know.
Where is she? Chris, please. They're gonna find out, man.
I know
The
that.
cops are gonna find out what has happened.
There's gonna be an end to this, dude. If
Please,
you can end
yeah.
it,
if you can end this,
if you can
I
end
won't
it,
hold grudges. I won't hold it to you, man.
we will forgive you.
I will
Alright.
forgive you. Just let it out.
Okay.
Just do it, man.
It's okay.
This has to be done. They're gonna find out eventually. It's gonna eat you up. They're gonna know what happened,
Going
man.
to.
You
It
know,
already has.
you know it's the right thing to do.
I know.
Chris.
Tell me.
I have every right to be angry with me for lying to you.
I'm not angry with you because
Yeah.
you're about to tell me, and
Yeah.
I'm about to find where my sister is.
Yeah. And I will be going forward with the police about this. I haven't yet because I'm trying to find the right way to do it, so
This is the right way, right?
yeah.
now.
This
This is
the
it.
right
dude.
way.
This is it.
I know. But what I say right now, it's going to be very hard, but until I come forward with them to it, it'll be within the week, I swear to you. But I'm gonna have to ask you to keep it to yourselves until then.
You tell me right now what happened to my sister. You know what happened to my sister.
Yes,
You know if she's alive or if she's dead. You know.
I do.
Tell us right now.
With some pressure from Maxx and his friends, Waide is finally ready to talk. But for Maxx, the truth is about to be a nightmare with gruesome details he would never be able to forget.
She did text me and asked to come over because she was feeling really depressed. She got here, we talked for a little while, then I took her to Boston Market and got her something to eat. Then we came straight back, but unlike in my original story, I offered and then performed the tarot reading for her right after we got back. It was the same cards that I told you guys, told you about.
That's the tarot reading. I know it.
Yeah. Afterwards, we went out and played video games for a while we were talking. And I don't know what was
No lies,
going
man.
through her
Tell-
mind, but she just paused the game and stopped what she was saying and leaned in and she kissed me. It took me completely off guard. I did not see it coming. We weren't talking about anything to do with anything that could be construed as that. And she called all of the shots, and as we proceeded from there, I stopped her several times and asked her, "Are you sure this is what you want? We can stop now. I won't go any farther." But she said that was what she wanted, and we kept going. She wasn't yelling, but she was very venomous, and she grabbed the knife that I keep by my bed. When we go back, I can show it to you.
What happened with the knife?
She grabbed it and pulled it out and tried to attack me, saying that she would stop attacking me if I agreed to buy drugs for her. I don't know, but there was desperation in her eyes.
She wouldn't do that, dude. She wouldn't do that, Chris. Stop lying. She
I'm
wouldn't do
not
that.
lying.
She wouldn't do that.
keep going.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just over.
I am not lying.
Okay.
She thrust at me twice. I dodged the first one, then I grabbed her hand on the second.
Like how? Like this? Or like this?
Like this. She was thrusting at my belly. I sidestepped the first. Then when she thrust again, I turned, grabbed her, then stepped forward and twisted her around so that her body was in between me and the knife. And then I placed my hand at her throat. I didn't start squeezing until after she kept going. I told her, and I made sure I was very clear about it. I said, we can end this right now. There will be I won't say anything to anyone. Just please drop the knife, and I'll let you go. You can get dressed. You can leave and go wherever. She said that she would stop when.
But she seemed really depressed that
Hold
day.
on. She
Yes,
would
she
stop
was.
when what?
She would stop when one of two things happened. And she said that she would stop when either she was dead or if I agreed to buy her drugs. I told her I did not want that. I told her straight up to please stop and get dressed and go. But she used both of her arms to push against me with the knife, trying to cut my arm.
But Maxx isn't buying it. He knew his sister too well. Sure, it made sense that she met up with Waide, but the claim that Lea was desperate for drugs doesn't sit right with him. What began as a simple missing persons report has already spiraled into something far more gruesome. And now, with heavy breaths, Maxx braces himself for the words he knows are coming.
I started squeezing on her throat. I kept telling her, and I wasn't whispering it to her, I was telling her in a very clear voice, drop the knife and I'll let go, Lea. Drop
How
the
long
knife,
did you
please.
squeeze her throat? Until what happened?
Honestly, she I thought that her muscles would relax when she went unconscious, and that I could gradually move the knife away and let her go and let her regain consciousness, but that didn't happen. I've been running through my head trying to figure out why, but when she kept on fighting and fighting, I kept on telling her to drop the knife and I would stop, drop the knife and I'll stop, and I will leave the room. I'll be waiting out in the patio. You can get dressed. You can go. I'll stop talking to you completely. But she kept shaking her head no. Then afterwards, the adrenaline was rushing through. I didn't see her stop shaking her head, but she was still pushing against my hand. Then it was like a rubber band snapped and it just went completely lax, and it took me completely by surprise, and I ended up cutting her. It wasn't very deep. It was about an inch and a half cut along her sternum. That took me completely by surprise, and I dropped her. She landed on the floor. I turned her over to check and make sure she was still alive. I didn't check on her throat because I had just been grabbing there, so I didn't think I could get a clear reading off of that. So I checked her wrists, and when I didn't find anything there, I checked under her arms and then the inside of her legs as well. And I keep going back and thinking I could have handled that better, but I just panicked.
Waide clearly tries to frame it as self-defense, but let's be clear. His version is nothing more than a made-up story. Lea was just a 5-foot-tall girl weighing about 98 pounds, while Waide stood at 5'10" and weighed around 170. There's simply no world in which he was so overpowered that he had to accidentally kill her while having to protect himself. It's almost laughable how far guilty people will go to paint themselves as victims. Waide, who strangled Lea like a python, now wants us to believe he was the helpless rabbit trapped in a wolf's den. And Maxx just had enough of it.
Where's your body?
I'll get to that. Just please let me finish from...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And I noticed she had been bleeding on the sheets, so I took the sheets and I partially folded them into the bottom of one of my duffel bags. And I tore out the bottoms of 2 of the trash bags.
No, dude. Stop.
No.
Where is she now?
Stop. I will tell you.
Stop.
Please, just hear me out.
We're listening. Just keep going.
And I swear I didn't tie her up or anything like that. I put the 2 trash bags underneath because I didn't want, after I got rid of her, I didn't want the smell to attract anyone, and they were those odor control trash bags, so I figured I'd lay a couple over her. I put a bag over her head, and then I placed 2 on top of her. Then I couldn't fit her all the way in. I didn't force her body into the bag or anything like that. I left her foot hanging out. And I tucked the sheet over on top of her. I think it was about 3 o'clock or 3:45 in the morning. I was taking it out.
In spinning his so-called innocent story, Waide sinks so low that he refers to Lee's body as it. The more he talks, the more revolting it becomes. But Maxx has known Waide long enough to see through him and to understand exactly what kind of man he really is.
You didn't hurt?
No.
Because I know
I did not.
You wanted to rape somebody when you were in high school. I know.
Yeah, when I was in high school. Then I grabbed her things and I took them out and I put them each. She had 4 bags with her.
Where was the computer?
That was one of the things with her. I put it in one dumpster. I put one bag in another, and I put one bag apiece in a dumpster.
She would never try to do that. Get lying sack.
Look, I told you you would not believe me.
Waide thought his story might win Maxx over, but he couldn't have been more wrong. Instead, he walked straight into a trap and was about to realize he'd made a grave mistake.
I will be turning myself in to the police. I will tell them.
No, you're going to jail right now. You're going to prison right now. Where do you think you're going, man? You think I'm just going to let you walk away and drive away? You killed my goddamn sister. No, Max. Give me away. Give me away.
Come on, let's.
Get my phone. It has all this recorded. Call the fucking cops. They're already on their way.
Before the police arrived, Maxx had already landed several punches on Waide. And just as he was about to drag Waide to the authorities himself, Waide picked up the phone and dialed 911.
Yes, I'd like to confess to a murder.
Okay. What happened?
It's the case being handled by Detectives Lopez and Lynch.
By Detective Lopez and Detective Lynch?
Yes.
Where are you at?
I'm at a park here in Westminster. It's on Perry Street. I don't know the crossroads, but it's ponds and there's a pagoda out on it. That's where I'm at.
Waide played it smart. Rather than letting Maxx rough him up further and be dragged in as a beaten suspect, he confessed on his own, surrendering to the murder he had committed. Maybe he thought it would earn him some favor with the police. Finally, Waide was brought in, and unlike the other times, he was about to confess everything.
So I figured if I could take her mind off of what she was thinking by having her think about something else while she was talking, that might work. We were talking like that for about 20 minutes. And that was when she paused the game and leaned over to kiss me. She was very forceful about it. Forceful is not quite the right word, but she was very adamant that that was what she wanted. I pried her off of me several times to make sure.
Waide begins calmly, painting a picture where Lee had made the first move and he appears reluctant. But he knows he has to sprinkle in just enough truth to avoid digging himself deeper into the grave he's already in. So he admits to the intercourse. But that's only the beginning. He already told Maxx and his friends everything, and now he can't afford to change his story. But the difference this time? As he repeats his tale of supposed helplessness, the cameras are rolling, and his face is finally on display.
She wasn't tired, but she did try to sweet talk me into buying drugs for her. Stuff like, since we've had sex and since we've been physical and since we've been talking so much, that makes us boyfriend and girlfriend, and boyfriends do everything they can for their girlfriends, so, or everything that their girlfriends want, so you should buy me drugs.
However, detectives had already spoken with Maxx, and his statements cast serious doubt on the claim about drugs.
He says that she tried to attack him for drug money.
Right.
When I was going to give her money, and she knew it. So why would she go that far? She would just be like, my brother's going to give me money. Off and leave.
Right. I agree. That's a good point.
And I have messages on her phone, and I left them nonstop. If she really wanted, she didn't do that because she knew I was going to give her money.
Sure.
But Waide was dead set with his story. And somehow, his remake of the real story has started to become worse than a low-budget soap opera. But he's not done yet. Next, he's about to try convincing detectives that he, a 170-pound man, somehow turned into a damsel in distress against a 98-pound girl.
When I told her that no, I wouldn't buy her drugs, she escalated from there, trying just regular persuasion, then coercion. When none of that worked, I was trying to get her calmed back down and rational. She wasn't yelling, but she was very acidic in her words. And I tried to explain to her that this was an unplanned thing, that was her from the start. I had no other feelings for her beyond that of a friend. And she grabbed the knife that I keep by my bed.
Grab a knife?
Yeah.
From where?
It was between my bed and the wall.
Okay.
She grabbed the knife and pulled it out. I believe you were the one that found it when you were looking through my apartment. It was a duct tape knife.
The duct tape knife?
Yes. And she started threatening me with it. and I kept resisting her, trying to get her to calm down again. Then she started thrusting it at me. It was overhand, straightforward. I dodged the first one, and the second time I grabbed her hand and spun her around so that her body was between the knife and myself. And I placed my hand right at her throat. I didn't start tightening or anything, and I kept a firm but not too firm grip on her hand. I didn't want to hurt her in any way, and I told her in a clear voice, "Lee, please stop, and I'll let you go. You won't hear anything about this from me to police report or anything like that. You can get dressed, you can grab your stuff, you can go right now. I won't stop you." And she said no, it was not going to work out like that. She said no, if I can't have drugs, then I want to die.
Another bizarre detail about Waide is his obsession with tarot cards. In fact, the very reason he confessed also ties back to them. He claimed a tarot reading made him admit to the murder. To most people, that sounds utterly insane, but people sometimes do get lost in spiritualism. However, in Waide's case, he wasn't just flirting with the edge of spiritualism, he leapt over the line, pitched a tent, and danced outside the boundaries of sanity.
So are you behind her? Is that what I'm understanding? You're behind her?
Yes, I'm standing behind her, if I may. I'm standing behind her. She is directly in front of me. My hand is at her throat. My other hand is reaching around her and holding her knife hand.
Where's the knife pointing when you're holding her hand?
It was pointing pretty much straight up and down, but she was trying to cut my hand so she could get free.
Which hand?
My left hand.
Okay.
And then she brought her other hand to give extra leverage to her knife hand. So she was struggling against me, and that's when I started to tighten. I kept saying to her, I was about maybe 3 inches from her ear, I said in a very clear voice, "Lee, please stop. Let the knife go, and I'll let you go. I'll walk out to the patio. You can get your stuff, you can leave. Just please stop struggling." And she, every time I asked her to stop struggling, she would shake her head no. Then I asked her, I think probably about 7 or 8 times. She was struggling so hard that I thought that she would go unconscious and her muscles would relax. And was my understanding of what happens when you're unconscious is that your muscles relax and you could just gently lower the knife away from her, then get it away from her, leave her put her on the bed, then let her come to and ask her to leave.
And what happened next is clear. Lee was dead, and Waide's mind immediately turned to figuring out how to cover up his crime.
Not murdered her, but was responsible for her death. And I thought that they would take her side over my story, since she was dead and there was evidence of a struggle. I thought that they would assume that
She handed herself, so to speak.
Reclothed her, and I placed her on the bed while I was figuring out what to do next. There were 4 bags that she came in with her. One of them was her purse. I put her phone in there. Another was a pillowcase that had a pillow in it. There was the Crown Royal bag with her drug paraphernalia in it. And a Dickies bag, I think it was like a dark brown or black canvas bag that had her laptop in it. And I took those and disposed of them each in a separate dumpster.
Around the complex, sir?
Yes.
All those items in one dumpster, or you separated
But
them?
one in each. I separated them out.
Why?
Just so that if some evidence was found, that it wouldn't be all of the evidence.
So where do you think she's at right now?
I think that after the garbage truck came, that she went with it to the dump.
Did you actually watch the dump truck pick her up and
No,
take her away?
no. I was being very nervous and paranoid. I didn't want to change anything in my daily schedule to give anyone that knew me any idea that something was wrong, was the matter.
Sure. She shows up on Tuesday. This thing happens Tuesday afternoon, and then what
Yes.
time was it that you think you might have taken her to the dumpster?
About 3:30, 3:45 the next morning.
A.M.
Yes.
Waide told the detectives where Lee's body could be found, but that turned out to be dead wrong. Despite a grueling 40-day landfill search, her remains were never recovered. Only a pillowcase with Lee's belongings surfaced. It's worth noting that Waide was studying criminal justice at Metropolitan State University of Denver, which further leans into the irony of the case. Professors recalled how fascinated he was with crime scene investigations, even suggesting that he may have used his coursework to help clean up after the murder. Waide even dreamed of becoming a police officer, but instead, he was, at the moment, seated on the opposite side of the table, with a story that could be a plot for a 3-star rated IMDb movie. But Waide is somewhat a smart guy, and he understands that his story is not impressing the detectives, so he tries the last tactic in his book.
This might seem a little bit bizarre to you, but are you under any kind of treatment for mental health issues right now?
No.
Have you ever been?
I have, but honestly, it was because I was having nightmares in the Army, and the doctors there were more concerned about getting me a full night's sleep and making sure that I was fit for duty than they were about my mental health.
Like right now, you're enrolled in a college program, right, at the
Yes.
Westminster College, and you're taking criminal justice classes?
Yes, I am.
Okay. How are your grades?
For the past 2 terms, I've been on the president's list with very good attendance. And this term, I'm thinking it'll probably be dean's list, but also decent attendance.
His narcissism finally takes a toll on him. He focused too much on making himself look good academically that he forgot he was presenting about mental health, and his record clearly showed that he was not a person struggling with mental issues. Later, when officers searched his house, they discovered a spiral notebook where Waide had written out a detailed confession. In these pages, he explicitly wrote, "Lee is dead," and admitted he had initially lied to the police out of fear that no one would believe the truth. But even in that, he cut out the part where he said he is solely responsible and made it mostly responsible. With all that out, the case finally moved into its final stage, and that was the trial. But why do you think Waide killed Lee? And after that, did he really hide her body and lie to the police? Even though some questions remained unanswered and Lee's body was never recovered, the case went to trial in September 2015. But the real shock came when Waide didn't just plead guilty to murder, he also admitted to another disturbing crime uncovered after investigators searched his belongings. Christopher Waide pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in the death of 19-year-old Lea Charlie Porter. Along with that, he also pleaded guilty to sexual exploitation of a child, specifically for possessing more than 20 pornographic images on his computer. On November 6, 2015, in Adams County Court, Colorado, Waide was sentenced to 48 years in prison. For the physical exploitation of a child charge, he was given 6 years to be served concurrently with the murder sentence.